Hello everyone, myself Rakhi, Assistant Professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, ABS Engineering College, Ghaziabad, affiliated to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, Lucknow. Today in the lecture series of optical communication, I am going to deliver before you the photodetector noise and the SNR, that is signal to noise ratio. So, in this particular lecture, I am going to cover the following topics, that is comparison of the photodetector noise, signal to noise ratio. So, already in the previous lecture we have gone through the different types of the photodetector. The two most common type of photodetector is the pin photodetector and the avalanche photodetector. So, we have already seen some of the differences during the lecture of during the description of the pin and APD. Now, I am going to deliver before you that in the tabular form. So, comparison of the photodetector. In this section, there we have a pin and the APD. The pin, what is the difference between? First difference, an undoped intrinsic layer is placed between two highly doped region in the case of a pin. But in the pi, we have a not only I, but we also have different P, I, P plus, this type of structure, that is a pi layer is placed between the P and N region. Does not have high intensity electric field, but in this case due to the insertion of something like P before I region, we are able to get a more precise electric field in the case of APD, and photo generated is less as compared to APD. And if anybody asks you what the reason behind the generation of less photo current in pin diode as compared to APD, that is in this more photo current is created due to the multiplication, avalanche multiplication which occurs in the APD. About that which we have studied in the previous lecture regarding the APD. Responsivity of the pin is limited. Already we know that responsivity is one of the determining parameter of the photodetector, which is given by IP upon P naught, because and IP is the photocurrent generated and the incident power falling in it is P naught. So, responsivity of PN is limited and the responsivity of APD can have much higher values. They exhibit lower noise level. The noise level in the pin is low. They exhibit higher noise level as compared to pin due to the effect of impact ionization and the photocurrent multiplication which occurs in the APD. Now, response time of a pin is half that of a APD. Response time, that means depends upon the depletion width is and other factors, that is drift, velocity, diffusion, etc. is half as that of the APD in the case of a pin, but the response type of APD is double. Sensitivity is less, so higher sensitivity. The sensitivity basically stands for the efficiency of any device to react for the input given to it. So, sensitivity is less in the pin, but it is higher in the case of a APD. We know that all the photodiodes works on the reverse bias condition. In the pin, low reverse bias is required, but high reverse bias is required in the case of a temperature stability is good in the case of a pin, but the poor temperature stability in the case of a APD, because it is highly dependent on the temperature, because multiplication factor IM upon IP, and this IP is basically dependent upon our reverse bias voltage and the reverse breakdown voltage, and these are dependent upon temperature. So, directly or indirectly we can say that m is dependent upon the temperature, which is the main reason behind the avalanche gain of the APD. So, these are some of the main differences between the PIN and the APD, that is PIN photodiode and the avalanche photodiode. Now, we are going to the another aspect of the photodetector. We already know that noise plays a very important role in determining the output of any system. In this case also, in the case of a detector, so again I am asking from you that where the detector is placed. Detector is placed at the receiver section of the optical communication, and we know at the detector section we have to distinguish between the signal received and the noise accompanied by it. So, if the noise is more than the signal, then of course, in the general case we are not able to receive the information as required by us. So, we have always calculate the noise which we are receiving at the receiver section. So, before calculating, of course, we have to study the different type of noise which are get encountered during the optical communication. So, these are the some of the common type of a noise. Noise is term generally used to refer any spurious and undesired disturbance that marks the received signal in a communication system. This is a general definition of a noise which is applicable to all type of communication system, because noise is a disturbances, undesired signal which are received at the in the communication system. There are three main types of noise due to spontaneous fluctuations in the optical fiber. So, these are the some of the important type of noise which arises in the optical communication due to the spontaneous fluctuation. That is the first one, thermal noise, dark current noise, quantum noise. There also exists a one more type of noise, that is short noise. So, we can say that we have a four types of main types of spontaneous noise which occur in the optical communication due to the spontaneous fluctuation. So, now we are going to study this four type of noise one by one. The first one is the thermal noise, and how it is created. This is a spontaneous fluctuations. So, as we already know, noise is not given to any system. This occurs spontaneously inside any system. So, in always it comes the term spontaneous. This is spontaneous fluctuation due to thermal interaction between the free electrons and the vibrating ions on the conducting medium. So, how it arises? Due to the thermal interaction between the free electrons and the vibrating ions in the conducting medium, and our conducting medium is the optical fiber. And every noise is dependent upon the various parameter. So, it is especially prevalent in the at the room temperature. And now, it is the formula. The thermal noise resistance current IT in a resistor R, always there comes a resistor in any system, is expressed as this way, IT squared bar 4K TB, where K is our Boltzmann constant, T is the temperature, and B is called as the post detection bandwidth. Post detection bandwidth, what does it mean? Already we have studied about the two types of bandwidth in the case of optical communication, that is optical bandwidth and the electrical bandwidth. Both are the different parameters and the values, and in this case we are talking about the post detection bandwidth. So, what bandwidth we will get after detection? Before detection we are getting the optical bandwidth, and after detection we are getting the electrical bandwidth. So, in this case the B, which is our post detection bandwidth, is basically the electrical bandwidth of the system. Now, the second one type of noise, that is called as the dark current noise. As we know that dark current dark current noise comes into existence when we applied no optical signal on the photodetector, that is no optical power is incident on the photodetector, but we are getting any sort of current flow in our device terminal, device circuit, then that noise is called as the dark current noise. This dark current noise continues to be in the system and gives random fluctuation about the average particle flow of the photocurrent. So, even if we applied the current afterwards, this noise remains in the system and it is given by ID square bar 2 EB ID, where E value you are already known, minus 19. B is our again the post detection bandwidth, which is our electrical bandwidth, and ID is the dark current which flow in the system when no optical signal is given to you. So, by getting this value we are able to calculate the dark current noise which is flowing in the system. Now, the short noise. The short noise because of the random fluctuation in the photocarrier generation. So, this type of noise comes into existence when the photocarrier gets generated inside the photodiode after the incident photon falls in it, the circuit or the depletion region of the diode, and the photocarriers get generated. So, at that time this short noise get created. So, it is first investigated by Schottky in 1918, and in the presence of noise, the photocurrent, to the presence of this short noise which is given by I subscript S under bracket T, the total photocurrent can then be written as this way, where IP is our main photocurrent and this is our noise, but total is given in the term of this. The noise current IST, which is our short noise, is stationary random process with Poisson statistic. So, the statistic which follows by this noise is the Poisson statistic. The spectral density of the short noise is practically constant over a very wide band, and hence the noise is almost white. This represent the white signal, because white signal already known to you, I think. White is that type of signal which comprises of almost many frequencies of signals. White is known as basically the combination of all the signal is called as the white signal, where it contains the frequency of almost all value. So, since this short noise operate over a wide band, then that is why it is called as the white. The short noise same is represented same as that of the dark current. We are able to see IS square bar 2E BP, E electron, B post detection bandwidth which is our electrical bandwidth, IP is the photocurrent. So, now one most important thing, that in the when we talk about the any type of a signal photocurrent generated at the external circuit, now will now have a both dark current and our this photo generated basically noise, which is also called as a short noise. So, when we in that case when we represent our photocurrent, then that will comprises of photocurrent, which is the original photocurrent, original signal which we want, plus our dark noise, plus our that short noise. So, the total noise in the presence of any signal is sum of the signal photocurrent and the dark current. So, this represent the total noise within the our circuit, total current noise. Since the variation of short noise is proportional to the average signal current, the short noise essentially is a multiplicative noise. The short noise therefore is a multiplicative white noise. Already we have discussed about it, what is called as a white noise. Now the third one, the quantum noise. This is one of the most important factor basically which exists in any type of system where the electromagnetic radiations are involved, because electromagnetic radiations are involved in any sort of system, and in optical communication also quantum electromagnetic radiations are involved, and electromagnetic radiation follows the quantum behavior, and taking this into account, this noise is created. So, the quantum behavior of the electromagnetic radiation taken into consideration optical frequency, and hence HF should be greater than kT, and the quantum fluctuations. So, of course, if we take the quantum behavior of the electromagnetic radiation, quantum fluctuations exist over the system, and the noise which are created in the system due to this quantum fluctuation are called as the quantum noise. Detection of a light by a photodetector is a discrete process. Hence, the statistic for a monochromatic coherent radiation arriving at the detector follow a discrete probability distribution. This which is independent of the number of photon previously detected. The probability Pj of detecting. So, now we since it is follow the discrete process of probability, discrete probability distribution. So, detection of noise which are the probability Pg of detecting Z atom over a period of tau, when it is expected to average to detect the Zm photons obey the Poisson's distribution. Already we have seen that the many noises, even the short noise follow the Poisson's distribution. So, this is applicable to noise category. The probability detecting Z photon, this Z photon is equal to Zm square exponential under bracket minus Zm by G bar. Now, Zm is what? Average to detect Zm photons. Zm is basically equal to the variance of the probability distribution. So, now if we want to have the value of Zm, first of all electron rate generated by the incident photon is given by, already we have a knowledge of this, it is given by R is equal to efficiency incident power H into F. H is the constant and F is our frequency. So, number of photon generated in a time to tau is equal to the average number of photon detected over this time period Zm. So, this will be, this is the electron rate generated by incident photon, rate of electron rate generated by incident photon. So, when we get it multiplied with tau, then we get the number of photon electron generated in a time tau, and that is our Zm. So, now we are getting the value of Zm here, and we have gone through the different type of noises. Just do a numerical related to different type of noises. A silicon pin photodiode is incorporated into a optical receiver, has a quantum efficiency of 60%, that is efficiency is given as 0.6. When operating at a wavelength of 0.9 micrometer, wavelength 0.9 micrometer. The dark current in the device, so dark current is 3 nano ampere and the load resistance is 4 kilo ohm. RL is equal to 4 kilo ohm. The incident optical power, there are lots of parameters given in this numerical, so we have to precisely check all this. The incident optical power at this wavelength, the incident optical power we denote it with P naught, 200 nanowatt, and the post detection bandwidth, that is our B, is equal to 5 megahertz. Compare the short noise generated in the photodiode. we have to compare the short noise generated with the thermal noise. We have to calculate the short noise generated with the thermal noise. So, let us look at once again to the formula of the short noise and the thermal noise, which we have previously discussed. This is our noise of the total short noise, 2 EB ID plus IP. Try to remember this formula. And our thermal noise IT square bar is equal to 4k TB upon R. So now you have to remember this formula, then only you are able to do that numerical. So, let us do that numerical. First of all, for calculating our total short noise, that is given by this formula, we have a value of E, we have a value of B, we have a value of our dark current ID, but we do not have a value of IP, the photocurrent generated. So, first of all, we have to calculate that IP, as we have got this from the responsivity and the quantum relationship, responsivity and quantum relation, which we have studied in our previous lecture. From that relationship we are able to get the value of formula of IP dependent upon the quantum efficiency. That formula is efficiency P naught E upon HF. So, but we have a value of lambda here. So, lambda is related to F is equal to C upon lambda. So, in the place of F we have replaced C upon lambda, P naught value given to us, E value known to us, lambda value given. So, efficiency 0.6, P naught 200 nanowatt, 200 nanowatt, E 0.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Now, lambda 0.9 micrometer, 0.9 micrometer, H constant known to us, C already known to us. In that case, we are able to calculate the IP equal to 87.1 nanoampere, and putting this now in formula, 2 E B is our 5 megahertz given, ID 3 nanoampere, 3 into 10 to the power minus 9, IP 87.1 nanometer, and putting this value we are able to calculate the total value of short noise, total short noise. Now, we have to if we want to calculate the exact value, we have to take the square root, and by taking, because we are getting the value in the square term here. So, when we take a square root, we are getting the short noise value equal to this. So, we have calculated the short noise, but we have to compare it with the thermal noise. So, calculate the thermal noise, IT square bar 4 kTB upon R, K value is known to us. We have to remember this value because it is not given in the question always. You have to know this value and you have to just remember these values. T at the room temperature 293, B post-reduction bandwidth, that is 5 megahertz, R given, that is 4 kilo ohm. By putting the value, we get the IT square bar equal to, so we have calculated that T is equal to 20 plus 273 equal to 293 Kelvin, because 0 degree centigrade is equal to 273 Kelvin, and we have given the T equal to 20 degree centigrade. So, we can have the 293 by 20 plus 273 is equal to 293. Now, we have get the complete value of the thermal noise, when now we take a square root and we get, by comparing what we are getting now, it is 4.49 to the power minus 19 and it is 1.44 into the power of minus 19. This is minus 9 and here it is minus 19. So, which one is more prominent? Of course, this one. Thermal noise is a factor of 12 greater than the total RMS short noise current. So, it is greater than, thermal noise is greater than, at this particular condition thermal noise is greater than the short noise. Now, the signal to noise ratio. Signal to noise ratio is very important parameter. Basically, we decide, this is a very important parameter at the receiver section, and it is basically given by signal received and the noise. So, at the detector section we are receiving the signal in the terms of IP square and all sort of noises which are received by us at the receiver section. So, first this is one complete short noise, because this is a very important one, and this is the thermal noise, and this is the amplifier, because at the amplifier we attach, at the detector section we always attach amplifier, because the signal received by us are have got a very low magnitude. So, which we can't able to detect very precisely, very easily. So, that for amplification of that signal, received signal, we generally put a amplifier just after the detector one, and when we put that amplifier also adds on some sort of noise to the system. So, we are considering that noise also. So, this is a complete formula of our signal to noise ratio, and when the noise associated with the amplifier I amp square bar is referred to the load resistor RL, the noise figure Fn of the amplifier may be obtained. Noise figure is given by, so when it is associated with the referred to the load resistor, then we are able to get the noise figure. This allows I amp square to combine with the thermal noise. This is our thermal noise and this is our amplifier noise, and it combines to form a 4 kTB Fn by RL. The expression of SNR in that case can now be written as, because this two amplifier noise and the thermal noise are now combining. So, and it is combined with this equation 4 kTB Fn by RL. This remains the same, that is short noise, and here comes the thermal noise plus amplifier noise combined. So, let us do one numerical related to this. So, the parameters is same as the previous numerical which we have done regarding the noise. The receiver in the previous the receiver is same as the previous numerical, has an amplifier, but we have now added the amplifier to that detector receiver section. An amplifier has a noise figure of 3 dB, that is Fn is equal to 3 dB. Determine the SNR at the output. So, we have to use this formula, but what is we have now? We have already calculated the IP in the previous numerical, we have already calculated the short noise, we have also calculated the thermal noise. So, we can take that values which are required in the calculation of SNR from the previous one. So, just I have written the data which we have received from the previous numerical. Photocurrent 87.1 into 10 to the power of minus 9 ampere, total short current 1.44 into 10 to the power minus 19, thermal 2.2 into 10 to the power minus 17. Now, here it is given the noise figure is equal to 3 dB. So, when we write something in the dB, 10 log to the base 10 Fn. So, now this is our 3 here. When we want to write something in dB, we write this way. So it is 0.3 log to the base 10 Fn, and now when we want to write the Fn is equal to, we take the base, this 10 and power 2 which is here. So this will be approximately equal to 2. That is why it is given 3 dB is equal to 10 to the power 10 log to the base 10 2. So Fn which we are getting here is 2. Now put that in the formula. IP square, this formula is already have with you. Get this formula, and this is what is this? This is our thermal noise into noise figure. This is our complete short noise, this is our photocurrent generated, this is our thermal noise, and this is our noise figure. So by this we are able to get the signal to noise ratio 1.87 into 10 to the power 2, and if we want to change in dB, what we had done? 10 log to the base 10, this value here, and we are getting the SNR in dB. So here comes the end of the detection section response at the receiver one. Here we end the noise and the SNR part of the receiver section. So thank you for studying today.